Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm here with Cantor Ray Cohen and want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We always start off with gratitude. On page 146, we have our morning blessings, and things tend to cycle a little bit. And we've been talking a lot about creating the environment for gratitude and creating the environment for gratitude to thrive in. And I want to kind of get back to another theme of gratitude as we cycle through our different lives, our different attitudes, our different experiences. And one of the things about gratitude is that we show gratitude, we don't just say it. And that's where the word bracha comes from. Bracha means blessing, it means gratitude, but it also means taking an action to elevate something. And action is extremely important. If we don't take action, how are things going to happen? It may seem like a very simple thought, but unless you actually show gratitude through an action, how are people to know that you are truly grateful and thankful? And so we, this week, when we enter into this Sabbath, when we enter into this week, when we enter into our lives, let us contemplate, think, wonder, and really explore the idea of how to show through our actions that we are grateful. Remember that the bracha comes from the root, the same Jewish or same Hebrew root as birkaim, our knees. And are our knees not the most important part of our knees and our elbows, the most important part of us showing action and movement? And so through the blessings, we show action and movement. Through gratitude, we need to show action and movement. So we turn to page 146 with our morning blessings. Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom to you, Cantor Cohen. Grateful for you, and I hope through my actions, you know that I am grateful for and to you.
Shabbat Shalom. Yes, Rabbi, absolutely, I do know that. Thank you. Boker Tov, everyone. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sech v'bina le'avim ben yom u'ben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shatzani betzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shatzani ben horin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shatzani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam mabish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rakah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa li kol tzarki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher chekin mitzadei gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten layayach koah.
As we approach the Shachrit service, we turn to page 218 for Shochein Ad.
Shochein Ad marom v'kadosh shemo v'katuv rananu tzadikim b'Adonai la'sharim nava tehila b'fi sharim tithalal uv'divrei tzadikim titbarah uvilshon chasidim titromam uvkerev kedoshim titkadash uvmachalot revivotam chabet Yisrael. Sheken chovat chocha yitzurim lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu lehodot lehalel leshabeach lefaer leromim lehader levarech leoleu kales al kol divrei shirot batishbachot David ben Yishai avdecha meshichecha yishtabach shimcha lad malkeinu. Berachot v'haodot me'ata ve'ad olam baruch atah Adonai el melech gadol batishbachot El ha'od Adon haniflaot, habocher b'shirei zimra, melech ha'olamim.
Turn our attention now to the beginning of our Shachrit service with the bracha, the blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or v'rei hoshech, oseh shalom v'rei et hakol. Praised are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who forms light and creates darkness, who ordains the harmony of all creation. As we enter into this Sabbath, let us be aware of the creation with its light, its darkness, with its kindness and tolerance, and everything that we see will increase. Let us see all of creation and let the light increase as we enter into this season of Hanukkah, where we kind of, through the lighting of the menorah, increase the light in the world. We turn now to El Adon on page 228.
El Adon al kol hamasim, Baruch v'ora b'fi kol neshama, God lo betuvo malei olam, da'ad u'tvuna sovevim oto, hamitgaeh al chayot hakodesh, v'nedar b'chavod al chamer chava, zchudu mishor livnei chiso, chesed v'rachamim livnei chivodo. Tovim me'orot shabara Eloheinu, Yitzaram bedad bevina uvhaskel, koag vura natan bahem, liot moshlim bekerev tevel, melim ziv umfikim noga, na'ezivam b'chol ha'olam, smechim b'tzeitam b'sasim b'boam, osim be'em ha'ratzon konam. Bechavod notnim lishmo, zachal averin ala zecher malchuto, kara lashemesh vayizrachor, ra'avechit kinsurat havana, sheva notnim lo, kol tzava maron, tiferet ugedula, seraphim ve'ofanim v'chayot hakodesh.
One of my favorite prayers at the end, the Chatima, Or Chadash Al Tzion Ta'ir, is causing a new light to shine on Zion, the new light that we repeat this prayer over and over again. The new light that we bring to the world is not a light that we bring from yesterday or the light that will be tomorrow. It is the light that we bring today. And we see that played out in the Hanukkah candles. Each time we light, we increase the light, but it's also a brand new light. It's not the same light. On Shabbat, we transfer light from the Shabbat to the holiday. It's transferred from the same flame, but not on Hanukkah. Hanukkah is this new light. Each evening, we light a new light, because we hope for a new vision as we move forward, a rebuilt temple, a rededication. That's what Hanukkah is about. New light. May we bring new attitudes to each and every day, not resting on our laurels of what was yesterday. Or Chadash.
Or Hadash al Tzion Ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu mahera le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer ha'me'orot.
On page 238, Ahava Rabbah, the bracha and the prayers before we say and recite the Shema.
Ahava Rabbah Avtanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Amla Gedola B'Tera, Amalta Aleinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Ba'avur Avotenu, Shabbatchu V'cha, Avinu Malkeinu, Vat Lamdem Chukei Chaim, Ken Techanenu Tlamdenu, Avinu Ha'av Harachaman, Amrachem Rachem Aleinu, V'tein B'libenu Lehavinu Hashkil Lishmoa, Lil'lemodu Lil'lamed, Lishmor Ve'lasot, ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. והאר עינינו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך. ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, כי בשם קדשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו, נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך.
Havienu leshalom, gather our people in peace, O Lord, from the four corners of the earth, as we gather our four tzitzit of our talit in preparation for the Shema.
Havienu leshalom, me'arba kanfot haaretz, v'tolichenu komemiut, le'artzenu, le'artzenu, ki el poel yeshuot atah, uvanu v'charta mikolam velashon, v'keravtanu l'shimecha hagadol, selah be'emet, lehodot lecha, u'yachedcha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher be'amo Yisrael, be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bechol levavcha, uvechol nafshecha, uvechol meotecha, vehayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anochi metzavecha, hayom alevavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uv'lechtecha v'derech, u'shachbecha uv'ekumecha, u'kshartam leotal yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'eineinecha, u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, the Lord spoke to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make fringes in the corner of their garments throughout their generation, putting upon the fringes of each corner a thread of blue. When you look upon the fringes, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclinations of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus you will be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God.
Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, li'od lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, amen.
God's words live on, faithful and precious. They abide forever for our ancestors, for us, for our children, and for every generation, the people Israel, God's faithful servants. We kiss our tzitzit and release them as we turn to page 252 for the preparation of the Amidah.
Tehilot le'el Yom Barhum Vorach, Moshe u'bnei Yisrael chanu shira, b'simcha rabah ve'omru chulam, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef eleh. Shirat Hashashi v'hu golim l'shimcha al safat hayam yachad kulam hodu v'him l'chu ve'omru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Sur Yisrael kuma ve'ezrat Yisrael ufedechinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael Go aleinu Adonai Tzavaot Shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Page 254, we continue with the Shachrit Amidah, the first couple of brachas, led by Cantor Cohen, and then we take some moments for prayer and meditation, and of course the blessings for the Sabbath.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Hasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chazdei Avot U'Mevi Goel Livnei B'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiva Ruach U'Morid HaGashem Mechal Kel Chayim B'Chesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofeh Holim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Geburot Umito Melach Melech Memid Umachaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah lechayot metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hametim.
Grant peace, goodness, and blessing to the world, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people. Bless us all, Creator, with the divine light of your presence, for by the divine light you have revealed to us your life-giving Torah and taught us loving kindness and righteousness, mercy and peace. May it please you to bless your people Israel in every season and at every hour with your peace. Praised are you, O Lord, bestower of peace upon your people Israel.
Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen.
Yasher Koach to you, Cantor. We enter into this week's Torah portion with a bracha So we say a bracha over the study of Torah, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. At this point, I wanted to just read a little bit of this week's Torah portion with a little enthusiasm. So we have a Yishlach, and we chant it I'll chant it a little bit. I want to add that part too as we enter into increasing light with Hanukkah. I think when we chant the Pasukim, just a few, we put out wonderful energy, wonderful light. So we say, Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim lefanav El Esav Achiv Artsar Seir Sdei Adom Vayitzav Otam Lemor Ko Tamrun Larani Le'asav Ko Amar Avdecha Yaakov Im Levan Garti V'acher Adataha Vayehi Lishor V'chamor Tzon Ve'evid V'shivcha Ve'eshlacha Lahagid La'adoni To hear those words chanted, we are reminded of one of the most infamous or famous ketas or portions in this week's Torah portion, a very recognizable portion. And I want to just read a little bit that Jacob will get his name changed, and he will, of course, wrestle with the angel, as we learn. And it says right here, Jacob was left alone. So he goes across back over the river. He sends his entire family in front of him to meet Esau, who was his brother that he got into a little bit of a fight with. There's a little resentment, a little bit of anger towards each other. So Jacob returns back to the other side of a river that he had sent his family to greet his brother, and then he would follow afterwards. So he goes to the other side of the river, and he's alone. Levad, he's alone. Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn, a very long time. And when he saw that he had not prevailed against him, he wrenched Jacob's hip at its socket, so the socket of his hip was strained as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for dawn is breaking." But he answered, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." Said the other, "What is your name?" He replied, "Jacob." Said he, "Your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with divine beings and divine and human, and have prevailed." Jacob asked, "Pray tell me your name," but he said, "You must not ask my name." And he took leave of him there. This is where we get the name Israel. Jacob's name changes to Israel. And I just wanted to give a little insight into what that really means. What's the significance of having a person's name changed? Why? And in what are the circumstances that the name would change? And I have to say is that as children, we are fully conscious of life. Look at any child and they are full of life. As we age, we develop judgments, do we not? We develop opinions. We become conscious then really of those conclusions. We become conscious of our judgments. That's really our consciousness. We think that is life. We think that is a big part of what's going on. We think our opinions, our thoughts, and our judgments are what make up life. But you need only look at a child and see that life is much more than that. Consciousness is really more than just our judgments and opinions. Take some time maybe this morning and look and try and go for an hour, 10 minutes without coming up with any conclusions. In fact, if you're listening to this right now, I assume that from what I just said 2 seconds ago, you're coming to already some conclusions about what I said. Try not to do that. Try not to have a consciousness around that. We have lost, in a sense, what we learn from children is a sense of wonder. We have lost the ability to see miracles all around us. The fact is that instead of making conclusions, should we not be exploring new ideas, new wonders, new ways in which to look at something? If you're taking a walk and you walk down the street, have you not made all these conclusions about what you see in front of you? if we really try hard and erase some of those conclusions and look at possibility and look at new ways in which to look at the world in which we live, would that not change how we have a consciousness around what's going on? This is precisely how Israel got his name. One that strives. This isn't about a wrestling. When you wrestle, you are trying to defeat somebody. You're in conflict. In no way do we ever get to good conclusions when we are in conflict. Life isn't to be about conflict, going from one conflict to the next, one problem to the next. Life is about finding ways in which to be at least in flow. When you look at something that isn't working, that is having friction, right? Take a door, for example. If the door has a lot of friction and it's making sound, you don't leave it that way. You find some WD-40 or you find something to make the friction less, to make it smooth. But yet we don't do that with our own lives. So in a sense, this isn't about Israel being and arguing and fighting and wrestling. It's not about that kind of understanding what was happening between Israel, I should say, and Jacob and the angel. It was understanding that he was working and trying to make it a less of a friction, to make life less of a battle, to make life less of wrestling. Jacob continues, if we live with less friction, life will be a little more smooth. Life will be a little more achievable. We will be able to have a little easier go of it. In fact, when we live in that consciousness, do we not have an easier way in which to look at the world? I wanted to really conclude then, why is it then in the end that Jacob strives and becomes Israel? It is because it is not, in a sense, a fight. It is a way in which we learn to go with the flow. And if, and only if, we are not different after when we are having these going with the flows, it is at that point that we are different. And that is why Israel walked differently. This isn't about that he was wounded and his socket was out of this and so on and so forth. You would agree that if you take a different attitude, try and get back to the roots of your consciousness, do you not know or believe that you would walk differently on this earth? That is certainly why we do not, as Jews, when we eat kosher, we don't eat the hindquarters to remind us of this. Not to remind us that Israel struggled, but to remind us that we should walk through the world differently, because we do not lose that childlike faith, that childlike understanding of the world, that awe and wonder. We can have a world in which we try and look at the world through possibility, awe, and wonder, or we can look at it as though we have all the conclusions. It's your choice. But Israel made very, very clear that it is important for us to look at the world through awe, through wonder, through possibility. And in that way, we walk through the world differently. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with Aleinu, which can be found on page 480.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leutzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamelachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'oser haaretz umoshav yikaro b'shamayim ha'al ushchinatu zo begavei meromim Hu Eloheinu ein od emet malkeinu efesulato kakatu betorato v'yadata hayom v'hashevota elevavecha Ki Adonai hu ha-Elohim, Bashamayim mimhal, ve'al ha'aretz mitachat, Einod, Einod.
For sovereignty is yours unto all eternity. You will reign in glory. As it is written in your Torah, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. And it has been foretold, the Lord shall be sovereign over all the earth. On that day, the Lord shall be one, shall be acclaimed as one.
Kakatuv b'Toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, v'nehemar, v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad.
May the memories which we cherish and lovingly now recall inspire us so to live, that we too may bequeath a heritage of precious memories to those whom we shall leave behind. In this week's Yortzites, Murray Herman Amster, father of Arlene Soretsky, Elaine Brofman, mother of Carrie Arquilovich, Mark Cohen, brother of Lori Mallon, Alice Holland, mother of Susan Komsky, Regina Algaze, grandmother of Patty Lewenda, Martin Flancer, husband of Harriet Flancer, Bernard Simon, father of David Simon, Helen Wallach, sister-in-law of Shirley Cohen, Lillian Eisenberg, mother-in-law of Sue Eisenberg, Abram Hodis, father of Jay Hodis, Isaac Cobran, father-in-law of Debbie Cadis, Irma Polson, sister-in-law of Cecilia Bachrach. Ribono Shalom Elohei Rechol B'chol Basar, Master of the world, God of the spirit of flesh, it is revealed and known before you that it is our desire to praise your name. May our yearnings and prayers find favor in your eyes and be accepted and received before you. You grant hope and healing to all who suffer. May we soon be able to once again safely gather in holiness and joy. May your name, God, be elevated and sanctified everywhere on earth. And may peace reign everywhere. Say shalom ben Romav, huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. God who makes harmony and peace, grant us harmony and peace here for us, for all Israel and all humankind. And let us all say, amen. We conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 488.
Adon Olam asher malah b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'ed nasa v'hefza kol azay malech shemo nikra Adon Olam ve'acharei kiklot takol levado yimloch nora Adon Olam ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh b'tifara Adon Olam V'chu echad v'ein sheni laham shilo lahachbira Adon Olam v'li reshit v'li tachlit v'lo haoz v'ham izra Adon Olam v'chu eli v'chai goali v'tzur hevli benat kosi Adon Olam v'hu nisi umanosli menat kosi v'yom ekra Adon Olam Be'ado of Kidruchi, Be'edishan Me'ayra Adon Olam, Be'imruchi Geviati, Adon Oli Velo Ira Adon Olam, Asher Malah, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, V'hefza Kol, Azay Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Cantor Yasher Koach, and a Shabbat Shalom Lekulam.